The Wyoming Republican Party is seeking to kill a bill working its way through the state legislature that would ban child marriage under the age of 16. Because I guess child marriage makes sense. Now, conservatives in the state argue that putting arbitrary limits on child marriage actually interferes with parental rights, okay? That's what they're concerned about here. Now, the bill, which already passed the Republican-controlled Wyoming House of Representatives on a 36-25 vote last month, proposes banning state residents from marrying anyone under the age of 16, which should not be controversial, while requiring anyone under the age of 18 seeking to get married to receive written consent from their parents under the eye of a competent witness. Now, the bill, I should note, has been sponsored by a Republican lawmaker. His name is Dan Zwanitzer. He's an openly gay Republican who's actually helped to defeat a number of anti-LGBT bills in Wyoming. So even though he's a Republican, big ups to him. Sounds like he is, pretty principled in wanting to protect people, at least in this specific context. Now, currently Wyoming is one of, get this, just 8 states in the country, including, and I didn't know this, California, Michigan, Mississippi, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Washington, and West Virginia without a minimum age requirement for marriage. And it currently ranks among the top 10 states in the country for child marriages, according to a 2021 study by advocacy group Unchained at Last. Now, let's take a look at this map of the United States and I'll explain what it shows you, what it tells you. So the states that are shaded in red indicate that you need to be 18 years old in order to get married. So there's only 2 states. The states shaded in blue have an age requirement of 17. Believe it or not, North Carolina is the state that says you can get married at age 14. Like what?
Wow.
What? Okay. So I just thought that was a really interesting, broader look at what's transpiring in the United States when it comes to child marriage. Now, efforts to raise the age of marriage in the state have consistently stalled, while a number of child marriages nationally has been in steady freefall over the last decades. Just 7 states to date have voted to ban it entirely, even as countries like the Philippines passed national laws banning the practice. And so when we talk about parental rights, or when conservatives who want to defeat this bill talk about parental rights, what are they referring to? They're referring to, let's say, a 16-year-old or someone even younger than 16, if she gets pregnant, regardless, by the way, of how she gets pregnant, the conservative parents might want to force her into marriage. So that's what they're referring to here when they talk about parental rights.
Yeah. So here are Republicans all over the country saying people should be allowed to have sex with and then marry kids under 18. I thought that's what groomers did.
Let me give you an exact statement from the Wyoming Republican Party, because I don't want to put words in their mouths. It's really important for you to understand what their rationale is here. Marriage is the only institution in Wyoming statute designed to keep a child's father and mother living under the same roof and cooperating in the raising of any children that they together conceive. That is the natural right of every child. That is what they're arguing. Approximately 60,000 marriages, child marriages, have happened since the year 2000, where the spousal age differences could be considered a sex crime. Okay, meaning the male in the relationship or the marriage is much, much, much older than the underaged girl who's now getting married to this person.
Yeah. So look, it was actually looked like it was on a path to pass. So saying, hey, you got to be at least 16 to get married and you need a parent's signature. I mean, this is.
I'm not gonna lie, after a long day of work, a glass of wine used to be calling my name, but the anxiety.
Bare minimum to protect against pedophiles. Forget groomers, pedophiles, okay? And at the last second, the Republicans got cold feet. And the reason is because right-wing organizations, including religious organizations, came out and were like, no. We like that the children can get married, okay? Let's procreate and do more white kids. Let's go, okay? And you get started them early, you know what I'm saying? It's not so bad. These are the religious people. Yeah, sure. Anyway, the group that organized them are called Wyoming Family Watch. And so apparently they want to watch young kids getting married to older men. And so this is the right wing in America. Oh, we're so worried about groomers and pedophiles and stuff. Oh, you got a 14-year-old? Oh, let's get him married. 16-year-old? Oh, come on. You got to wait till 16 to get married? Why not 15? Come on. And by the way, they're like, when they say get married, I don't know that there's restrictions on how old the guy can be. Right?
No, exactly. That's exactly right.
So can a 45-year-old marry a 15-year-old? Is it become kosher and literally legal in Wyoming as long as they call it a marriage?
Again, let me just, according to Unchained at Last, in the United States, approximately 60,000 marriages have happened since 2000, where the spousal age differences could have been considered a sex crime, allowing a marriage license to become a sort of get out of jail free card for a would-be rapist, particularly if they impregnate the victim.
And guys, Democrats, please, do you exist? You exist, Democrats? This is a layup. Why don't you introduce a bill that says nationally you're not allowed to get married if you're under 18? And then you force the Republicans to either say, no, we want kids under 18 having sex as long as it's inside a marriage, and we don't care how old the husband is, the guy is in the relationship, or you win and you protect children. It's a win-win either way.
Well, remember, when it comes to girls or women getting pregnant and dealing with an unwanted pregnancy, the response from the far right is punish them. And in this case, oh, you got pregnant? No abortion. You must carry the pregnancy to term, and we're gonna pressure you to marry the person who impregnated you, even if the person who impregnated you is much older than you, might have actually been a situation where there was not consent in the sexual behavior or activity. Like, that's what's happening here. I mean, the whole ideology against reproductive rights, and it goes far beyond the anti-abortion movement. It also has to do with the anti-contraception movement, is about punishing women who might feel free to express their sexuality and engage in sexual activity before marriage. We're all supposed to abide by what their religious doctrine dictates. And that's not what this country is supposed to be about. This country is supposed to be tolerant of a diversity of ideas, a diversity of beliefs. My belief is not that you should punish someone who has sex before marriage at all.
Anna, you know what it reminded me of? We did a story a long time ago from one of the Central Asian republics, like Tajikistan or something. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact country, but in that region. And there's still some leftovers of an ancient culture there where in the Central Asian steppes, different tribes would go and kidnap women from the other tribes, and then they would rape them. And then once they did, though, the parents of the woman would go and convince the victim to marry their assailant, because that was culture, right? Man, this looks awfully similar to that, right? So where the parents are like, no. I mean, we want to make sure that we don't ruin our morals and our honor. And the way that we do that is marry them off, and then it's all official and okay and moral.
You know what my culture is? Okay, my culture is no one should get married before 30. It should be banned. Everyone should be forced to wait until they're 30 before they get married. Now look, those are my values. I'm not gonna force them on other people. But if you're in your early 20s and you're thinking about getting married, please just wait till you're at least 25. Okay, just wait. It's gonna be all right. You can get married. Just give it a little bit of time.
But here's what I'm absolutely positive of. You can't have all the right-wingers and Republicans complaining about pedophilia and then wanting to make it legal.
100%. 100%.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks.